Hey guys, this is Dan with Alpine, and on today's workshop, I'm going to be setting up an Optimate in real time to show you how simple the entire process is. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so we have the software fired up here, and just to give you guys a little bit of a background here, I'm showing you guys the new Auto EQ 2.0 update software. So this is something that's coming out very soon. So stay tuned to our website for updates here. But we're going to give you guys a sneak peek of what the new software looks like and what it can do. All right, so right off the bat here, so we have the software up and running, and I'm already plugged into a DSP. Or in this case, we're using the Optim 8. And you can always tell we're connected by the green icon right here. So right off camera, just to give you guys a little bit of background, I have made a OEM system that is simulating something that's very common, like you would find in the Silverado these days, which has dash speakers, door woofers that are on their own channels, rear speakers, and a sub. And I have that feeding into the Optim 8, and then I just have some full range speakers on the output so we can do some tuning. So to give you guys a quick idea to show you how simple this is and how much time it takes to set it up, we're going to get going right now. So once you get connected, you'll see that we'll select whatever source we're using as our main source. In this case, we're using high level in. Mixed source means if you have a secondary source, like if you want to have it switch automatically whenever you stream Bluetooth to it, for example, anything like that, you can use that. And then we're going to go right down here to input mode, and we're going to click that. And we're going to tell the DSP what are we giving it, what's on its inputs. So the top row here is our high level inputs. And this system right here matches what we did, which has two-way fronts, full range rear, and a sub. So I'm going to select that. Now, on the bottom channels here, we have low level inputs. Now, those are there if you're using them. Now, no matter what, you're going to have to select both, but I just leave it on customize and hit next. And this is asking us how many of those low-level channels are you using. I'm not going to be using any in this case, but I like to just have them on just in case. So we'll go ahead and hit enter. And now we're going to go to output mode, and we're going to select what our system is on the output side. So we open that up, and you can see that we have multiple configurations here. Now, if none of these match, you can manually set this up in the EQ screen. I'll show you guys that here in just a second. But for today's purpose here, I'm actually just using full range fronts right now. So I'm just going to select that, and it's going to do its work in the background. And what that just did was it over here on the EQ screen is it actually set up the output channels. Now, if you hit customize, this is where you can go through and set them up manually. So if the channels, if this output configuration wizard doesn't show you what the system is that you're doing, you can set it up right here. It also set up some basic, if you need them, basic crossovers, anything like that, they're all right here. And then this is the time correction screen. If you want to do any manual delay settings, you can do that right here. But then what this also did was it already set up the mixer for us. Now, this might look a little daunting, but in this case, in this scenario, don't worry. This whole side of the screen over here is actually not even being used. We're only using this section right here because these are the inputs going from top to bottom, and then the outputs are going from left to right. So we can see here that we actually did sum the tweeter and the woofer from this factory system for the left side and for the right side, and that's already been done. Okay, so if something's not working right, you can go back into the mixer and adjust accordingly. So now the next step to do here is you want to hit store. And what that's going to do is it's actually going to save all the information and everything we just set up into the memory of the DSP. Now, for those of you that have been doing the Optim before, you used to have presets here, and you would save it as a preset. We actually moved the presets to a whole different section. I'm going to get to that here in a little bit, but now you just have one simple store option and you're done. So we have that set up. So now we're going to go into the auto EQ. All right. So now you're going to see a whole new screen here. So if we're using high level in, we're going to measure it using the factory system. And for all the other inputs, it's going to proceed just like it did before. Now, what it's going to do is it's going to play the sine sweep sounds, which you have heard here, and you'll hear in just a second. If you're using any of the low level inputs or digital inputs, the DSP will provide that signal for you because it knows that its input is going to be flat and clean. But the factory system is not going to be flat and clean. There's always going to be some kind of EQ or something going on in there. So we're going to provide you, and you get them off our website, the files. You put them on a flash drive and you play them on the factory radio. So we're going to click the not measured, and this is going to tell you to plug in the USB storage device into your radio and make sure to play the sign sweep file, which I do have playing over here off to the side. So, and then it's also going to tell you to make sure your factory radio is at about 50 to 70%. I am actually at about 50% on this one, so I'm good. So I'm going to hit OK. And now we're going to start adjusting. So I do have a microphone set up in front of the speaker here. But when you're in the vehicle, you would either be holding the microphone and sitting in the driver's seat, or if you're using the app, which is the exact same interface, you would just be doing this on your phone. You're going to see the exact same results either way. So I'm going to hit start adjusting, and we're going to get to the level set. Perfect. And once it's happy, it'll actually stop itself. I always like to aim right in the middle of the two red lines. And if you're moving a slider up and you don't see anything, then you might not have your microphone connected. So just double check that. If you're using a phone, make sure you're not paired to the Bluetooth in the car, because you might be using a microphone in the car. So just keep a couple of little tips and tricks for you guys there. So we're going to hit proceed, and I'm going to just start measuring. This is when it's going to provide those sign sweeps, and it's going to show you the EQ in real time. And I'm going to click start measuring. Now, I will not be able to talk on camera while this is measuring, but you guys will get a little bit of a voiceover from me. So I'm going to go ahead and click start. All right, guys, here's the voiceover, Dan here. So right now we have the sign sweeps playing, and you can see I'm moving the microphone around. This is very similar to what you'd be doing in a vehicle, moving the microphone between the driver's seat and the passenger seat, all in the front area of the vehicle, to kind of get a good average of what the vehicle is sounding like. And it's going to take all those factors in. It's actually about 200 measurements, and it's going to make a global EQ, and that's going to be applied to the next screen that you're going to see here in the software. So we're happy with that. We're going to hit accept. I'm going to turn the volume down here. So at this point, you can play whatever. Sorry, I'm going to pause it. You can play whatever music you want to play. I'm not going to be playing any music during the video, but you can actually have music playing and adjust the level of the DSP right here and listen to it. And of course, you can shape the EQ any way you want. So before we do that, I'm going to show you guys a couple of the new changes here. And if you guys want to see, like, if you guys are curious here, I'm in a room with a wood floor and a lot of echoing. So that's why you're seeing a lot of this pink line. But if you are seeing a lot of pink and it's up here, you're in a pretty noisy environment. Like maybe you left the AC on in the car or something like that. So make sure you try to have it as quiet as possible. But you can also click these dots here to take away the lines you don't want to see. Right off the bat, you can see here that we have the presets are right here. So now when you access presets on the controller, you can actually store them here, and you can you can have 4 different curves. So by default here, this is the default curve. You make sure call is selected. We'll hit default, and this is the default curve, and this is the one that you cannot change. But T curve 1, 2, and 3 you can totally change, and each one of them already has their own predefined curves. And you can click through these and listen, and if you're happy with it, then you're good. So that was 1. Here's 2. 2 is a little bassier and brighter. I'm not the biggest fan of that one personally. And then this one's a little more subdued. So I'm actually going to start with T curve 1, and I'm going to change this a little bit. So here's an example of something you can do. It's like, here's a big spike right here at about 700 hertz around there. Let's say I don't want to put that in there. If you right click on the line, you can add another point for the EQ. So I'm going to click over here. I'm going to add another one in the middle, and then I'm going to drag that spike down. And I might like how that much sound. Might be very happy with how that sounds. And you can always toggle back and forth by hitting the bypass EQ. And this will actually bypass what we've done, and you'll hear it without the auto-tuned EQ, and then with. So when it's in the left position, that means it's on, and you're listening to it with this EQ. So you can always toggle with and without, and it does it instantaneous. So you can always kind of double check your work and make sure you're happy. So let's say we're happy with this, and I want to save it. So I'm going to click. Oh, I accidentally hit call. My bad. Hang on. Let's go back here to 1 and do that. Okay, great. And then I'm going to hit store. And I'm going to override 2 because I'm not going to use that one. So I'm going to 2, and I'm going to, you can name this, I'll just name this one CMA. And we'll notice right there that that little ring did not come up and went away very quickly, right? That means it actually did not save. So I'm going to do that again. And we're going to see it animate this time. There you go. That's what you want to see. If it doesn't animate, do it again. Honestly, about 99 out of 100 times, you have to do it twice. So just make a good habit of doing it twice. All right. So that's how you'll do your setting, your EQ and all that, and how you can store your EQs into different presets. Another new thing here is called center stage mode. So we're going to click that, and it's going to let you know that any kind of balancing might be lost if you've done any kind of balancing already in the other settings of the DSP, because this is actually going to do some delay stuff for you. So we're going to hit OK, and you'll do this with music playing. I like to do this with something that has a good, strong center image in the music. And when you toggle it on, it'll tell you, hey, your time correction values are going to be reset. That's okay. We actually didn't put any in yet. You'll say what side of the wheel you're on, and then you can adjust the center image on the stage to the right and to the left, depending on what you're hearing. Every car is going to be different. This is more of a generic setting, so this will get you pretty close, but be sure to play around with this and see if it helps you. And let's say you end up at this point and you're happy with that, and then you can say awesome. You can back out of here. We've already saved our curve that we're happy with, so we're good there. So I'm going to go back to home, and then I always like to just double check to make sure if this is lit up blue, then we need to do another save. So I'm going to go ahead and hit store again, and we see that icon did not animate. So I am going to do it again, but probably you got to make a change. Yeah, and I'll hit store. There he goes. You always want to make sure that animates. So that's it, guys. So that's all the process needed to do a setup and a tune on the Optimate. It's really simple. Well, there you have it, guys. That is the setup and tuning process of the Optimate. As you can see, it is very simple to do. It is very easy, and it's also very repeatable. So you can do this to multiple cars every day and deliver fantastic sounding products to your customers. So this update will be coming out very soon. For updates on that, check our website at alpine-usa.com, and then click the support tab, head on over to Knowledge Center, and there you will see the updates as well as firmware and new software. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.